What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be going over the essentials of a website. Now these essentials are what we put on every single website that we build, and we hear from clients, homeowners, say things like, I loved your website because of how easy it is, or I specifically picked your company because of the website. So stick with it and I'll walk you through every aspect that you absolutely have to have. Let's get started. All right guys, so we're gonna jump right into the different aspects of a website, why you need each one, and show you actually how to lay it out. So the very first thing when you first come on a website is you're gonna have what's called a grunt test, which is if you go on a website, within 5 seconds, can you determine who's the company, what they do, and what action you should be taking? Because if you can't nail all three of those, then it's harder to actually get somebody to continue down the page. You need to set it up right on the first impression that's possible. So in this case, we let off for Bunker. He's a remodeler up in New Hampshire. We wanted to say, okay, let's first sell an emotion. So the very first thing that you see that will stand out is gonna be your dream home awaits you. We wanna pull out emotion from these homeowners because we want them to read that and go, you know what, you're right, my dream home does await me, right? We wanna get them in that nice mindset, so as they go through this page, they're trying to tie everything that we're talking about to their dream home. So we have that as the headline. Now right below that, we have what's called a sub-headline, the next 2.5 lines of text, and that actually says what he does, right? Because if we said your dream home awaits you, then you're thinking, okay, great, but how? What do you do to get me to my dream home if you're a homeowner? And that's where we talk about kitchen, bathroom, and carpentry services. So we still need to show exactly and specifically what we do. So and right below that, we're gonna actually have what's called a call to action or a button of what comes next. So between the logo in the top left, the headline and subheadline, then the call to action and that orange button that says get a quote, we nail who we are, what we do, and what you should do next. Grunt test, checked off. Now, let's move down the page. The very next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna skip right over these other sections. These are fluff sections, they work. I'm not gonna go into it on this video. The next part is gonna be the services part, right? We need to actually lay out each service line by line, because sometimes just saying, yep, I do bathrooms, check. Yep, I do kitchens, check. Yep, I do carpentry, check. People just go, okay, great, they're just throwing that up on a website. But if we can actually list out the services that we do and show that not only one, we can actually do those services by showing that we can do them, and two, we know the reasons why people are hiring us for these services, then it's gonna be a lot easier to get them to actually call us or fill out a form. Here's what I mean with that last part. When we speak directly to their problem, the customer's problem, and the problem is, yes, they have a kitchen that's outdated. However, they really want to change their kitchen because of another reason. Some sort of internal fire of something that's going on deep down. They want to fix it because they're embarrassed, or they have a closed off space that they want to spend time with family in, and they can't because it's a tiny kitchen. So whatever your client's real deep down issue is, if you can address that on your website under each service, you're going to have a much easier chance to actually convince them that, hey, I'm your company, because yes, I understand that you want your kitchen remodeled, but I also understand your true end goal, which is fill in the blank. Way easier that way. It's just like a car salesman who's trying to sell you a car versus who's trying to sell you a solution of, you got a tiny so you got to have a big truck. All right, same deal. So the next aspect is going to be make sure you have a section or a page or whatever for each service and you list those out properly. All right, we're going to scroll right past those. After that, one of the biggest things that everybody oversteps is the process. In reality, when you want to buy something, there's three real things that people want to know. One is, how much does it cost? Two is, what's the process looking like? How's it happen? And three is, what's my timeline? Those are the big three. Think about every single purchase in your life that you go through. All three of those things at some point crosses through your mind. And what we're trying to do is knock some of those out on a website if we can. Because by listing out our process, it alleviates any unknowns. Have you ever called up somebody and you thought, well, I kind of want to call them, but I'm afraid if I do call them, then it's going to be a terrible experience, or they're going to continue to cold call me back, things like that? It's a horrible experience to go through, which limits a lot of people from actually making that first action. So if we can take on our website and we can actually list out the 3 easy steps of working with us, from phone call to construction to your new life, it does wonders for transparency, but it also puts them in a simple mood. If we can show how easy and straightforward it is to work with us, people are way more likely, because nobody likes chaos. So if we can go by that keep a simple stupid model, it's way easier to get somebody in our boat and in our corner to want to hire us, because we're making their lives easier, not harder. They're already going through a tough time. If they're hiring you for a kitchen remodel, they're spending a lot of money, and they're inviting a stranger into their home where their children are. If you've ever seen To Catch a Contractor, you see all the horror stories on there, and that's unfortunately what a lot of homeowners think of when they think of a contractor. It's the same thing for a life insurance salesman or a car salesman or a marketing guy. It all happens to the best of us in our own industries, and there's nothing we can do about it except for control what we can control and try to lay out the entire process transparently up front. Make sure you have a basic process on your website to show what it's going to be like to work with you, and it has to be simple. Not 17 steps to working with us, it's 3, 5, that's about it. Cool? Move on down. Now that we've, between the headline and subheadline and the services and then the process, we've sold the service. We've sold the product. We've sold why they're initially coming to us. Now, since we're stepping into their home and we have to build a relationship with them, we need to sell ourselves. You sell the product or the service, then you sell yourself. And here's why. People don't hire businesses, they hire people. They hire people who they like. And here's another crazy thing. Employees who leave, they don't quit because they don't like the business or the company. They quit because they don't like their manager. They have a bad, direct relationship with the person above them. And that's a lot of times what happens with homeowners, is that yes, you can build a great kitchen, but so can the other person, and so can the other person. Now we need to sell ourselves, so that way people are gonna say, you know what? Not only do I want a kitchen, I want a kitchen built by Mark Bunker. That's why. Because if we can't sell ourselves, then they're just gonna call somebody else. So we absolutely have to sell ourselves, and that is where an About Us page or section comes in. We're listing out or showing them, hey look, here's why we do what we do. Because if we can make you understand that we truly love this stuff, then you're more likely as a homeowner to actually hire us. Because let's think about it. If I said, you know what, I'm Logan's Remodeling, and I like building kitchens for people because honestly, I make a lot of money doing it. Would you hire me? Same idea with an About Us page. So you need to, instead of talking about how much you love building and things like that, you can do that. However, we need to talk about your why. Peel back the onions a little bit. Really think deep into when was the first time you really got into building and what drew you to it. Talked to a client today, we're building his website, and I said, you know, you're an electrician, like how'd you get into that? And he was like, honestly man, like when I was a kid, like I just always was just playing with like electrical stuff. And since then, like since the first time I can remember, I've always wanted to be an electrician. I'm like, okay, most people want to be a doctor or a policeman or things like that. Why this? And then as we got deeper and deeper and deeper, we realized he loves the challenge. He loves the ability to step into a homeowner's house and work with them to figure out their problem together. And that's something that we can sell, and that's something that homeowners will build trust on. However, if you just talk only about, I've been doing it for this long, or it's a family-run business, it doesn't matter to people as much. What matters is, can you help them, and do you have the integrity to have their best interest in mind? Because nobody wants to get taken advantage of. That's where the About Us section comes in. Moving down a little bit more, one of the most overstepped aspects or features is the social proof side of things. Why do you think they put Shaquille O'Neal in Bayer Back and Body commercials or Icy Hot? That's what it is. Because they need somebody that other people trust. That's why celebrity endorsements work. That's why reviews work. That's why referrals, everybody says, oh, I can sell 80% of my jobs that I get from referrals, but internet's only 25. Yeah, because you're getting a warm lead. Somebody's already vouching for you. So social proof, which is the idea that you're a legit operation and you have society around you vouching for you, it does wonders. It backs up everything that you're saying. And if you can get even better detailed, where you can lay out testimonials that when you read them, they actually help your cause, in the sense that if you're trying to sell mainly kitchens and you put testimonials on there all about bathrooms, there's a disconnect. But if you put them on there for kitchens, you're gonna nail it, because people are gonna read all this stuff and they're gonna be right on the edge of, do I wanna hire this person, yes or no? And they read that testimonial and it says, I got a kitchen from Mark Bunker. It was the best kitchen and the process was spectacular. I would do it all again in a heartbeat. What are you gonna do at that point as a homeowner? You're gonna buy. All right, social proof is big. And the very last thing that we're gonna talk about is probably one of the most one of the most important aspects of the website. How do they contact you? All this stuff is great. Your website's meant to build trust and build the brand, but if they can't get a hold of you, then how are you gonna stay in business? You need to have some sort of, whether you want them to give you a call or a contact form, whatever it is, you have to have that laid out on your website. So make sure that you have a way for them to contact you, so you're all good to go. So running down the whole thing again real quick, you're gonna have your main image section. You gotta pass that grunt test. Then you wanna talk about your services in a very, emotional manner if possible. All right, now from there, we're gonna go down to the processes that we got, then the About Us section, and then don't forget about social proof and the way to contact you. Those are the big features, and the last big one that I keep forgetting is smashing that like button. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, and if you got anything out of this video, do us a favor, we'd love it. Hit the like button, and it will really help out a ton. Thank you very much. Make sure you have these features on your website, whether you do it yourself or you hire it out, but this will be your key to the promised land when it comes to building trust and generating leads on your website. Thanks.